Marketing what you do is not enough. If you market what your business does, your business will be no different from your competitors because you turn yourself into a commodity. As far as your target audience is concerned, there is no difference between what you're doing and what your competitors are doing. Since you focus on what you do, you're more likely to market yourself using the same points and features as your competitors. Where is the difference? Let's be honest. There's absolutely nothing differentiating your business from your competitors if you focus on what you do. When this happens, you are forced to compete in two key areas where you will fail. 1, experience, or 2, price. Both of these are losing propositions. If you just started, chances are there are many other businesses in your area that have been providing your service or selling your products for far longer. It's easy to lose when it comes to experience. There's always somebody ahead of you. There's always somebody that started out much earlier. The second area is even worse, pricing. Believe it or not, there is always going to be somebody out there who will be able to provide the same services or products as you at a lower price. Maybe they use automation. Maybe they have a better supply chain. Whatever the case may be, they can provide whatever it is you're selling at a lower price. The more you push and sell yourself based on price, the more you're going to have to settle for a smaller and smaller profit margin. This is a race to the bottom. The key to success in small business is not to beat your competitors in what they do. Everybody is pretty much doing the same thing. Instead, focus on standing out. Focus on perceived value. You have to answer this key question that your target customers are always asking subconsciously. Why should I pick you instead of everybody else? You have to find a solid answer to that. This is why you should not market what you do. That's not enough. In fact, it's counterproductive. Instead, sell who you are. Build a personal brand. When you demonstrate to potential customers that you know what you're talking about by answering their most common questions, you become credible. You can try by telling people, but let me tell you, that's not going to take you far. A lot of your competitors are doing the exact same thing. They're telling people what they know. At this point, nobody cares because they've heard this before. You have to demonstrate to your prospects that you know what you're talking about. This means showing them case studies, past client testimonials, process descriptions, and anything and everything that shows prospects your expertise. Pay close attention to what I just said. I did not say, tell people what you know. This is a non-starter. Everybody is doing this. Instead, I said, show them. You have to break it down. You have to give example after example. You have to make the case through what you've already done, not what you promised to do, not what you're planning to implement, but what you've already done. This shows your competence and so much more. Competence, believe it or not, is a baseline. That's right. It's just a starting point. This is actually the least of your prospects' concerns. Competence just lays the foundation that you are qualified enough to hire, but it's not enough on its own. Don't get me wrong, they think it's important, but they're looking for more. You have to emphasize what makes your service or company different. You have to show that you have a special way of doing things because you have a different experience. Maybe you have a personal background story, then you need to share that. This difference in your personal experience gives the impression that you are different from your competitors. You can also demonstrate your differences in terms of the processes you follow. Do you have special terms for your processes? Can you spell them out? Can you give an overview that would impress your prospective customer? The key is to emphasize what makes your process different. This is not just a case of looking different to be perceived as different. Instead, you have to zero in on what truly makes your process different. You should also pay attention to your after-sales service. Do you do something different that your competitors don't do? Do you have a higher attention to detail? If so, demonstrate that. Never underestimate the power of your backstory. The more you reveal yourself, your family, your background, and your personal growth over the years, the more you give the reader of your local expertise book opportunities and ways to relate to you and see themselves in you. The moment you're able to pull this off, the more they see you in their problems. The more they see you solving their issues, they become emotionally invested in what you do. You do this through storytelling. Demonstrating what makes you different can also involve the awards that you've won over the years, the milestones that your business has reached, and a list of accomplishments that you've racked up over the years. You can also list out your certifications and what they mean. You know the rest. I'm just giving these as illustrations. But it's important to understand that you can't just drop a list of awards, accomplishments, case studies, happy customers, process steps, and certifications in the lap of your reader. They wouldn't know what to do with that information. They probably would be turned off because of information overload. Instead, you need to pay close attention to one key step. Frame your difference the right way. When you're demonstrating what separates your business from your competition, you have to frame it the right way. You can't just list your special way of doing things, your backstory, or your after-sales service. People wouldn't know how to make sense of these. Instead, you have to frame them in terms of the total package that you bring to the table. You must say to your customer, "I understand you, and this is why the years of my experience have helped me come up with these processes, which led to all these awards and accomplishments." Or say to them, "I'm able to come up with these processes because of the certifications and trainings that I went through." In other words, frame them as part of a larger story. This story must engage people at both an emotional and intellectual level. We already know what the intellectual level is because they have a problem and they're looking for a solution. Seems pretty straightforward, right? But when it comes to actually closing the deal, when people are looking at your local expertise book, they want to see themselves in you. They want to see their story in your struggle, in your personal development, and in the growth of your business. If you manage to do this, you will have a cheerleader. I'm not just talking about a fan. I'm not just talking about a customer. You will be able to create a cheerleader who will share your book with their personal and business networks. They will lend their personal credibility to you in the form of referrals. They will put their name on the line by referring your business. That's how important getting people to emotionally invest in what you're doing is, and one of the best devices for this is your local expertise book. Make no mistake, your business cannot afford to be seen as yet another commodity. Commodities are interchangeable. There's really no way to tell them apart except for price and experience. If you just started out or you have a limited budget, you already know that you are at a serious disadvantage. Leverage who you are, what you're about, what your grand vision is, and your personal story as well as your experiences and point of view into a device that would not only convert more prospects into customers, but also open many doors of referrals and doors of opportunities for your business. By getting people to see you as something distinct, different, and higher and better than your competitors, the more likely your business will be successful. One of the most powerful, yet cost-effective and faster ways to gain this instant credibility is by publishing your own local expertise book. Visit instacredibility.com today so we can help you put together a quick, easy, and powerful customized process that will turn your experiences and personal story into a physical book that you can use to turn your local business into a solid, credible brand.